Good people. So bado tunaongelea Haiti and what is happening in Haiti right now because our forces touched down in Haiti. Just want to understand what they're going to meet there and the challenges that they might get while they are battling these gangs in Haiti. One, we have to understand that Haiti has very many gangs. We only hear about Jimmy Cherizier, that is barbecue, because his is the most powerful gang, but there are other rival gangs. In fact, Haiti walishinda makarao in their own country. So they started fighting amongst themselves. That is how severe that problem is in Haiti. And if you're talking about Haiti, we have to start with the capital, Port-au-Prince. And in Port-au-Prince, you'll find that there are two major gangs. There is the G9 and the GPEP. The group of 9, the G9, is the one that is led by Jimmy Cherizier. That is barbecue, the one that you've seen Kila Mahali being interviewed and threatening the Kenyan forces. That is the G9. Then there is the GPEP. GPEP is a rival. It's a rival gang. But one thing that you have to understand about these gangs is inaanzia mbali sana. It didn't start yesterday. You go back, way back to Papa Doc, the Prime Minister, President alikuwa anaitwa Papa Doc, that started all this by involving civilians and criminals to have gangs, gave them arms, na wakaanza kumdefend in terms of fighting other people who were against him. That went on because yeye alikuwa dictator, ikaendelea na mtoto wake alikuwa anaitwa Baby Doc, still used the same thing. So over time, the society ikaanza kuwa accustomed to civilians having guns and civilians defending what they want to defend, even if they're against the government. So that spiraled up until we had Jovenel Moise. Now, something very, very important about these gangs is that they are political. They started to be political. I'm talking about now the recent gangs. Tuachane na history mbali, these recent gangs and everything, they are solely political. That means that as we have political parties in this country, political parties in Haiti have armed forces who are trying to fight for themselves. So that is what is happening there. So that is why when you hear about the G9, where Jimmy Cherizier, that is barbecue, is leading, that is a group of 9. It has 9 gangs that came together, plus others who now have come together to form that. It's called the G9 plus allies, a very big group of gangs that is led by Jimmy Cherizier, that is barbecue. That sect supported the killed president, Jovenel Moise. So for some time, that gang was in government. That is the time also when Jimmy Cherizier resigned and etc. from the police force. You understand that Jimmy Cherizier was, that is barbecue, was a police person, then went from being a policeman to being a criminal and leading this huge gang. Then the GPEP is mostly affiliated with the opposition during the time of Jovenel Moise. So we are talking about that administration of Jovenel Moise. And mind you, it is Jovenel Moise who had made or appointed, before he was assassinated, he had appointed the Prime Minister who was removed the other day, Ariel Henry, to be the Prime Minister. So that is why you'll find that Ariel Henry was rejected and came to be rejected by even Jimmy Cherizier's G9 gang. So this is how you find that these gangs are affiliated with politics. Then it becomes even more complex when you say now that these gangs they have grown to be beyond their politicians. Because as I explained, there is a period of time when the gangs were listening to their political masters because they were political parties, But as time went by, as Haiti deteriorated time and time again, these gangs became more independent and stopped depending on their political masters. So right now, it is almost impossible for a political party leader to come out and say that and command their gangs and gang leaders to stop whatever they are doing. It spiraled out of hand. That is why you see that there is a need for those forces outside to come and help the situation right now, because these gang leaders now, in a plot twist, these gang leaders also want political seats. They have political ambitions. That is why Jimmy Cherizier, the other time, Barbecue, came out and said that he wants to lead the nation of Haiti. Yeah, so it has advanced from just being a party or a gang that is supporting a particular party to a gang that has its leader, and its leader wants to take over the entire nation. So that is how complex these political parties are. They are many, but they have groups which who affiliate with each other, and they fight against each other. So you'll have sections of Port-au-Prince belonging to Jimmy Cherizier. You'll have other sections of Port-au-Prince belonging to the G9. Outside the Port-au-Prince, Kushago, or outside town, you'll find other gangs, the Mawazo and etc. So they all have different ways on how they operate, but one main thing, one main constant that you'll hear Haitians from different places saying, the gangs are ruining their lives, basically. One, they are limiting movement. Two, they are destroying infrastructure. Three, the society, the fabric of the society has been collapsing ever since. And also, you'll find that they extort money, because these gangs have to run, and they have to run via money. So if you don't have money, then you cannot have people joining the gang. In fact, many youth, many young people are joining these gangs just because they want to earn a living, and there is no way, any other way, because the economy has collapsed. There are no jobs. There is nothing you can do in Haiti better than just joining a gang. So they join these gangs, and these leaders make sure that these gangs have money. And the way they do this is by kidnapping people, then asking them for ransom. So you are kidnapped today, your family is asked for ransom, they give ransom, then money comes to the organization pays its workers. Tomorrow you might be kidnapped again, because if they notice that your family has some wealth, you'll be kidnapped and re-kidnapped if you're not careful enough, so that monies can go into the gangs and the gangs can operate. So this is the situation in Haiti. This is why you find that by the way, Haiti does not have a military force, in case you're asking, because Kenya has the past week or this week, Kenya's police were overwhelmed and the military was called in to assist. So someone will ask, mbona Haiti hakuna military wanakuja ku assist after the police are overwhelmed? Haiti doesn't have a military force. That is something that we'll discuss in another session, majorly because of coups and counter-coups. So that is the situation in Haiti. Those are the gangs and how they are operating and getting money to sustain their living.